Hello, hello.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Colorful Conversations.
Yes, we are here again live.
Who are you?
I am Mona, and this is.
I am Kaye, and welcome to Colorful Conversations.
So, how's your day been?
I've had a good day, Mona. It's been a
good.
little busy, but I've had a good day. A couple meetings, but
Oh, okay.
How about yourself?
I've had a busy day, but it's been really good. I had a busy day. I had a busy weekend, but we're here and I'm excited about the podcast on today. I'm excited about our guest that we're going to introduce later, but let's get into some hot topics, some tea under the dryer conversation.
under the dryer?
Yes.
Well, you want to start or you want me to get it started?
Oh, I'm going to let you go on and get it started because
Well,
this going to make my nerves a little bad. But
I think that the topic that everybody is talking about is Karmelo Anthony. And so the question became not just, obviously, it's a tragic situation all the way around.
It is.
Young man, 17 years old,
it is.
good student, athlete. He's at a track meet, get into it with a young man, pulls out a knife. The other student is dead. Now, it is terribly unfortunate that we have a young man that lost his life so early.
Absolutely.
Some of the accounts are that I heard that he was suspended from school. I don't really know every single detail because obviously the case wasn't televised.
Right, and I don't think nobody knows every single detail,
Correct.
so we're all making assumptions and opinions, but I believe everybody's opinion is valid because
Absolutely.
that's the way you feel, and you can't tell people how to feel or how to think. So it's a very tragic situation, I feel, on both sides.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yes.
I hate it for Karmelo. I really do. My heart goes out to his family. My heart goes out about the whole situation. Even for Austin, a life was taken.
Absolutely.
So, what do you take from it? And what have you learned from it, or what do you take from it? How do you feel?
Well, obviously, again, I start with the sorrow, but then I start to think about, I think there are a number of things that come to mind. 35 years seemed like it was, I
That's
think,
too long.
let me say, if we start to think, while a lot of racial tension has been added to it.
Absolutely.
So we ask the question simply, if your son, your nephew, your loved one was Austin, was the one that was killed, what do you think was a fair and reasonable punishment for the other gentleman that would have killed your child? Now, I think that in some cases you have some people who say 35 years because they love the victim, obviously, and they say, 35 years is reasonable, should have gotten life. I think that I'm just so much more of a forgiving person, and I really
Absolutely.
think that the penal system should be about restoring people or bringing people back. So absolutely there should be some punishment. This is a young man that's just at the front of his life. I think that 35 years was extreme. I would have been perfectly okay with seeing 10 years, even if the victim was my
Or
loved
manslaughter.
one.
That it would have been less
And
less
even if
time.
they gave him 20 years with 10 years to serve, I could have thought that would have been more fair.
Absolutely.
Now, the next question then becomes, when we say racially motivated, now that I have started to see Austin Metcalf's father on social media, I'm thinking, well, maybe we should have a reason to be a little concerned
Yes.
about racial tension because he's been all over the place.
I think it was going to be racial tension anyway.
Okay.
Because of
Just where we are in the country.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely, and it's being brought out even more. I feel like unfortunately, it's an unfortunate situation. I think both parties were I just hate to say it, but it's my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think that both parties reacted, and unfortunately, both parties had detrimental consequences.
Absolutely.
You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Unfortunately, they lost a life.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they're losing their son as well to the system.
Absolutely.
35 years, I think, is just too long for me. Should he be punished? Absolutely. But 35 years, I feel like let's restore. And also we have to teach this new culture of black. You know, we can't do, unfortunately, what they do and get away with it or seem fair.
And Trump's
you know, the
America
justice
too,
system.
This
Yes.
whole notion, I think racial tensions are higher in Trump's America. So yesterday, Pastor Tory Roberts, he went viral because he was talking about it in church. And he spent his focus talking about we have to teach our young black men to de-escalate, kind of to calm down. And that created a lot of spark online saying, why do we have to be the ones to calm down? Why are we asked to walk away from the fight? And I think that's some good dialogue. I want to know, like, your thoughts on that. And
twofold. I feel twofold about it. Yes, I do think we do need to teach not just our black men, but our black children, period, girls, boys, that everything now to me is just a hostile world. Anger is amongst the land, and everybody's on 10, everybody ready to pop off, everybody. So I don't know the ins and the outs of the trial. Like we said, we wasn't in the courtroom, it wasn't televised. We're only making, assumptions or what we've seen. And I'm pretty sure people have seen more videos than I have, but I think we still need to teach our children, our black children, male or female, that to de-escalate some situation if possible. Sometimes it's not possible and you just react. So I think that needs to be taught. I think that needs to be taught to our millennials, our culture, because we are on 10.
Yes.
And sometimes we're on 10 just from what we feed into our spirit. Like
Absolutely.
I say, it's just anger and racism just amongst the land. That's the going thing now,
Right,
like that's normal, and it shouldn't be our normal.
I think, like, when you look at a young man, I actually listened to Pastor Tory, and I thought I celebrated him for what he had to say. And I like the idea of saying, we have to, the Bible tells us that anger rests in the bosom of a fool. So not to say that we don't have the right to get upset when people come at us, but we do have to manage it, because a person who doesn't have control of their spirit is a dangerous person to both themselves
and then that's
and the
hard,
people.
but it's hard. It's not hard, okay, I'm not gonna say that, but in a way, what if you're being bullied constantly? You know what I'm saying? You get tired. So I'm not making excuses for what happened or saying that it's okay. But certain situations, it's just a pile up, a build up. That's why we need to teach our children to talk and open up.
Absolutely.
What's going on? How was your day? And don't, as parents, we shouldn't just take, oh, it was okay. No, dive a little deeper, because some things obviously had been going on that wasn't talked about or wasn't, dealt with, that he felt like he had to bring something to protect himself.
Absolutely.
Automatically. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate on both ends. I just hate to see another young black man locked up. 35 years is so harsh to me. Absolutely. It's very harsh.
That is a lifetime. And even if he gets, I don't know, but even if he gets half the time, that's still 17 years. That's almost as long as 17
He
and
don't
a half
know
years.
anything.
That's as long as
he's
been
going
alive.
in as a kid.
Absolutely.
He doesn't know anything.
And I know, for those who are the naysayers, who are the fans of Anthony Metcalf, they're probably saying, well, but he killed my kid. He killed somebody. And I get it. But I don't think that the penal system is about retribution. I think it should be about restoration, like trying to give us good citizens to put back in the universe. Absolutely, he needs to serve some time. He needs to be punished and dealt with. But
even in punishment, I think whatever issue needs to be dealt with, sometimes being punished and locked up, you're not dealing with the true issue of what's really going on. Why did he do what he do? So sometimes being locked up behind bars, that's just not the ultimate punishment. Even though society have made that, like, oh, he's serving his time, he in prison, that's what he get. But that's not dealing with the real issue. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
That doesn't rehabilitate the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a hard topic, a hard situation, because what if that was my son?
Yeah, absolutely.
On both sides.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, that was Woo.
Facebook, social media. I want you to tell us what you feel about this. I want you to join in the conversations, put your questions in, and we will come back and start talking about that. But today, I think we have a limited amount of time with an extraordinary guest. And I have to be honest and say, I'm kind of excited about bringing our guest on. How about you?
I am excited. Little bit.
Okay.
Little bit.
So,
little bit. We'll see.
I think our audience will really appreciate the conversations that we...
Well, talk a little bit about him before he comes.
So let me introduce our guest. Our guest happens to be a friend of mine. His name is Rod Warner. And so Rod draws from years of studying human behavior, relationships, and personal development. And he brings all of this depth and clarity, lived experience to his writing and to his coaching. He is a relationship coach. His work explores the inner drivers behind confidence, attraction, identity, and emotional growth. Topics that resonate around cultures and life stages. Rod's writing is grounded in real-world observation, personal experience, and a deep curiosity about why people think, feel, and act the way they do. Rather than offering surface-level advice, he invites readers to reflect, question patterns, and develop a stronger understanding of themselves and their relationship. He is the author of this fabulous book, The 7 S's to Getting Any Woman. And he also happens to be dapper and quite handsome. So, if you would, please welcome to our podcast, my friend, our guest today, author Rod Warner. Give it up for me.
Thank you.
Hello, handsome.
Thank you.
Hello, handsome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. A pleasure to be on you guys' podcast. I'm a little jealous because you guys have it decked out here. For those who don't know, this is a fabulous location. And it's just a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited.
We're excited for having you.
Good. So, Rod, we're gonna jump right on in, okay? You gave us copies of your great book.
It's amazing.
And both of us took the time to sit down and read it. Okay. I know you told me to don't just skim through it. Rod is full of jokes and he likes to, rib me a little bit, but I actually read it. Okay. And I have to tell you, Rod, that the book is amazing.
Thank you.
And you start out with what I thought just from reading the title, okay. And then to tell you what I thought once I read the book.
Sure.
So from the title, I thought that it was going to be a book that's full of kind of arrogance, kind of popping the collar, this is what it takes, just go say this, do this. And while I was reading the book, I actually found myself nodding quite a bit, saying yes, 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 Okay. And so I actually was like, well, this is pretty good. Yeah. So I want to start with, I have 2 basic questions. Number 1, I want you to tell me, and maybe you can answer both of these questions. Okay. The first question is just what inspired you to write the book?
I was inspired by, I used to mentor a group of guys, and that's when I was in fitness and training. And it started there. And these guys just asked me questions about females and women, and how to get that woman, and I'm just teaching whatever. So as I progressed in my profession, I started hearing my clientele asking the same question. So as I built a relationship with them, which I thought was very secondary, but they didn't. So every time I started talking about it, they would just take notes and write it down. And I was like, wow. And one of my clients said to me, he said, "Hey man, I think you need to write a book." And I was stuck and startled at the same time, but it was, I have this level of awareness now that I listen to what people tone and how they say it, and it struck a chord with me, and I sat with that, and it really like weighed really heavy on me. So I wish I never wrote anything. All the degrees I have, I've never really wrote, my papers. I speak them and have somebody type them out, but I never really wrote anything. But that made me actually take pen to paper and write, and I just started writing.
So the next question I want to ask you, that's very good that you were writing to some mentors. And so to follow that up, since you're saying you're writing to some mentors, you and I play a lot. But I think that you are very confident. You exude, you have a presence about yourself. And so you exude confidence. And I hate to, but you're awfully handsome and all of those things. But when I was reading the book, what struck me was that you start out talking about kind of being in a place as a young man when you didn't have self-esteem.
Right.
And so I want to kind of start there about just the period of your life when you talk about having met a young lady and not knowing how to talk on the phone and all of that. So I want you to talk to me about just what it was like to be the insecure Rod and the transition to becoming who you are today.
First of all, that is a fabulous question. I'm really kind of not impressed. I'm taken off guard. I didn't think you were going to start out like that. Really, as men, I'm going to speak for myself. As an individual who didn't know, growing up, I didn't know if I was spot on or I was way off. I didn't know. So, Kaye, I just really kind of looked at myself. I looked at others. I kept looking at others and, oh, he was cool, or man, he was cooler, or he's a dork, or he's a geek, like, eh. And so I kind of looked at that, and then you kind of compare yourself. Well, back in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have Facebook. We have nothing, so we just had our eyes, and we kind of,
Yeah.
And I saw myself not measuring up with the top people who I admired, and I kind of undervalued myself, and it was just very. I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I spoke well enough, because I just really held myself up on the lower standards. And sometimes in the African American community, we don't have anybody really tapping us and giving us the fist bump and saying, "Hey man, you this and you that." So I just thought I was just average, and and that just shows signs of faces of low self-esteem.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know. And I had an active father, but he just never sat down and like, hey,
Poured into you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, he worked. That,
Yeah.
I get it.
Baby boomers, they were working class
Workers.
people, yeah. So I didn't really have nobody. I had uncles, but they weren't saying, "Hey man, you were this, you were that." They mentioned some things along the way. So, Kaye, that was really one of the things that really struck me as a young individual, man. And I just thought I just sell myself short.
Yeah. So why don't you dive more into your book? What are the 7 S's of your book? I want you to talk more about your book.
No, you gotta buy it. No, I'm joking. Well, so
break that down for us.
Okay. So first of all, it wasn't easy to come up with this. Okay. It took a lot of questioning females, and
I remember
remember me telling you that? Yeah. When I tell you, maybe over 1,000 women, but this is over a course period of time.
Okay.
So I just started asking them questions. You guys know, just like I know, women, y'all like an open book. Y'all tell what y'all like. Y'all also tell what y'all don't like. So as men, we have to pick up on that real quick. So some of the S's, I won't give all of them, but I just give a couple of them. Let's say the one you was talking about with the phone, segue, like knowing how to hold a conversation. When you go out on a date with someone, you want somebody to have a flow of conversation. The transition is nothing worse in the world to have a conversation with somebody who can't keep you engaged.
Attention, yeah.
And you want to transcend one topic to another topic with ease. You don't want to be looking at somebody, but ooh, okay. All right, I'll just dance out, or you got to carry the conversation. And you want the guy to have a conversation topic. So you're like, man, we've been sitting here for 2.5 hours. Oh, really? And now you're flowing. Why? Conversation is so important because communication is the heartbeat of any relationship.
It is.
So when that guy can have that conversation transition those topics, it makes it easy because you say, "Ooh, this is where you hear the word chemistry comes from," and you want to have the chemistry.
So you're basically building confidence in men, helping them build their confidence on how to approach, how to attract, how to. Okay,
Yeah.
I like
But
that.
I wrote another book. It's called Attraction. I hadn't released it yet because 8 different types of attraction. You got to know what you're attracted to.
Okay.
So it's more. If I met you and I told you you were attracted, you're going to want to know more than just physically. That's just the obvious because I'm sitting here with you. You're sitting here with me. You want to know what you're attracted to and why you're attracted. You should be able to explain yourself. We're adults, so we should be able to articulate ourselves in a way, in a manner that know why we're attracted to something or someone.
I like that. So talking to women, what have you learned? What do we like since you wrote the book? What do we like? What do you think?
Let me answer like this first.
Okay.
Most women don't want to be figured out. When I wrote the book, they were like, don't, just a player book, you teaching us this. And they had all these things, and they hadn't even read it. And so some of them don't want to be figured out, but they want you to know. It's confusing. So
I agree.
Women have done a great job describing what they want, a horrible job defining what they want. As men, we need definition. That's why if you look at those who read the Bible and believe in God, and the 10 Commandments, he told Moses, do this and don't do this. Men need that same structure. We need to know what to do, what's in bounds and what's out of bounds.
Yes.
Once we know what the boundary is, because we'll get close to the edge and we'll be like, okay, it's in our nature. Kids do it. You tell your kid don't do something, they be like, don't touch that. Did I tell you not to touch that? It's just in our nature to be disobedient. It's in our nature to test people. Because how do we know where the boundaries lie? So I hope I answered your question.
You did.
So I thought that was a good answer. Now, I want to go back to, I'm not going to tell all the S's because I think you do need to read the book. It's phenomenal. I'm very sincere in saying, man, I'm very impressed. And you done inspired me. I think I need to write a 7 for us to figure out you.
Okay.
So I actually, I have a whole bunch of questions I want to ask. But the next question I want to ask you now is, you also talked about something that struck me, and I was like, this is really good. You talked about even just smell good. And you talked about how when women smell, they often start to reminisce and think about things. And it was interesting that I had just read an article last week that was talking about smell being the only sense that goes straight to, like, as soon as you ingest it, the brain starts processing it immediately. So it says that when you smell something, that immediately you start to feel ways about memories, or you start to cast memories in your brain about this moment. So I thought that was interesting that you say that smell is something that starts to connect with the woman and make her feel a way. And I was like, you kind of own to something. How did you come about that? Or just kind of, I know you interview, but I just want to hear you just a little bit expound
First,
on it.
it started out with my father. He was a polo man. He used to wear polo fragrances, and he just sprayed on the green bottle with the gold tap. He just sprayed on, man. He would mix certain fragrances. He would spray it. And my mom, she liked it, and he would leave the house, and you could still smell the aroma in the house. I'm like, oh my God. But again, I was young, and so I remember about my first bottle of Creed Imperial, and I put it on. I didn't think nothing about it, and then this one lady, walked in. She said, "Oh my God, Kim, there's her name." She's a lady, but she was like, "Oh my God, what is that you have on?" I was like, "I think Creed," She was like, and so she left and came back. She said, "Oh my God, wow, you smell amazing." Like, what? So, but as a younger, my oldest brother, he used to wear Langenfeld Photo. I don't know if those remember. And I just spray it on because when he walked by me, I smelled the aroma. So, and then when you hear a woman compliment you, especially a woman, beautiful as you guys, say that to you, man, it make you, stick your chest out.
Yeah, okay.
Make you roll your shoulders back.
That's a good one. That was a good one. I gotta admit, that was a good one. But it makes you have a level of confidence, and that's the good part of it. Now, a man can have that man smell, and women, y'all will do this here, like,
Right.
So everything, you can get in his car, and his car doesn't smell
Good, yeah.
appropriate, or you can come over his house, and the house ain't smelling like feed, or,
Yeah.
what is this? Or his hair, you didn't wash his hair, or his beard, those people who, wear beards, You want everything to smell fresh because it's inviting, that aroma. And those who in a biblical sense, they talk about myrrhs and scents,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
back
I
in
like a
those
man
days.
that smells good.
Yeah,
I like
so it's inviting. So for women, if y'all smell something that's unpleasant, it's like, I have a dog, but if you go to somebody's house, they have a dog, the number one reason why, and I speak for African Americans, well, we don't want animals, because you don't want animals in the house, because you say your house smell like what? Dog. So you want it to be fresh. So it's important, to answer your question, that aroma is very it's inviting. It makes
it is.
people want to be like, oh, it smells so good. What is that? When they ask that question, now you're on the right track. And they be like, oh, what is that?
Right.
Because women, y'all will tell by y'all facial expression.
So let me tell you something.
Yes, ma'am.
If I see a picture of a man and he's a good looking man, like if I picked up your book and I didn't know you, when I looked at your picture, I would start immediately in my mind processing what you smell like. I can look at this picture. Now I don't know the truth, but in my mind, when I look at the picture and you are a handsome gentleman, I start smelling what you smell like. It started bringing like handsome men smell like this. And then if I see another guy, I say to myself, well, he probably got on some,
But remember, like to your point, remember Jill Scott said, what's the song, He Loves Me? She said he wore the same, the other guy wore the same fragrance, but it smelled good on you and it smelled good on him pretty much. So women, scent will transcend the female. So when you will smell a scent and it will instantly trigger you, like, oh, Raphael smells. He used to wear the same fragrance. Like, oh, and then you start reminiscing, start thinking. I miss Raphael.
So let me ask you this.
Yes, ma'am.
When was the turning point, or when was the moment you said, oh, I got this. I'm building confidence. And when did you know that you had confidence in yourself enough to approach a woman?
Any woman.
Any woman.
It started out, it was kind of one of them, you fake it till you make it type things, Throughout college, my teeth wasn't right. So it had me like, I'm like, I'll talk to you, and but I didn't have it fully. So I would tell people, to invest in themselves, But when I really realized that, I started comparing myself with the other guys, like the top tier guys,
that I personally knew, not that I just see on TV, but I start comparing myself, and I'm like, man, I got this, I got this, I got this, and I start looking at it, and then when you start having that checklist, you start seeing where you land. And as I got older, I know about the importance of keeping yourself up, working out, eating right. That never won't have the stomach, so I didn't really want, there's certain things I wanted, certain things I didn't want. And I didn't have the money back then that I have now. So I always say dress your wage. As a grown man, you should look like a grown man, dress like a grown man, and even like smell my smell.
I have a good. So let me ask you this. I gotta lean back when I ask you
Okay,
this.
go ahead.
So I was listening to a podcast.
Okay.
You just said, you want to make sure your weight, you know how you look, you kept yourself up. So I was listening to a podcast, and this guy, he was engaged. The fiance called the engagement off because he wanted her to sign a prenup about her weight. She can't gain certain amount of weight during the duration of the marriage, or it was going to either terminate the marriage, or so what do you feel about that? What do you think? Be honest, because I want to know. You're the relationship guy.
It's a couple of things. Prenups in any scenario, partnership in any type of arena, it protects the individual because no one wants to lose. In marriages, in relationships, somebody's reaching up and somebody's reaching down. Somebody's going to bring you up. So if the person has more to lose, or they already took that, in the white community called a haircut, they already took that haircut once before. They're not, especially with you guys, y'all know what I'm talking about. They're not going to take that haircut again. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, you got new ones. Well, I've been got like this once. I'm going to be careful, second go around. Now, in that particular case with the weight, he's put it out there. Not saying I agree with it, and I'm not saying I disagree with it.
Okay.
He's saying pay attention. Why? Because men are visual, and we want what's in the brochure right here, just like women. If hey, if you making $300,000, and you want this level of security, you want him to have X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
But if that X amount of dollars went down to like $60,000, you'd be like, wait a minute, hold on, player.
Right.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
I didn't ask for this.
So you think that would be a deal breaker?
Of course, it can be. Just like it would be for women if the guy, he
Lost
said, hey
all
man,
his
I
money,
want to, or he switches. Let's say he pick up the weight. He got stomachs, plural.
Well, speaking of, you said stomachs, he wasn't, from my understanding, because they never showed the guy, but he gave his weight, the number.
What did he say?
I think he was like 265, which that don't mean he was a big
Yeah,
guy.
don't mean- yeah,
It
he
could,
was, yeah.
but
Well,
I didn't
here's
really
the thing.
like that.
Here's the thing. Being a relationship expert, you don't marry people physical. You have to build a relationship.
that's right.
Relationship, you can't live in nothing you don't build. So that means in our African American community, we teach things like independent. That's what the baby boomers had taught Generation X, our generation. Girl, don't depend on no man. And because they might leave you, and all. So they prepare you for that. And then they don't want you to be dependent. Now the new age word, codependency is a horrible thing. You don't want to be codependent on somebody. And that's why people say you ain't gonna never find nobody like me when they leave.
Yeah.
But they don't teach interdependent.
Right.
Interdependent means I need you just as much as you need me. This
right.
is what happens in the white community. When they find they made in college, and then they build a marriage. That's why you have the Jeff Bezos and his wife. They grow up together and they create a life and a lifestyle. So what happens is they know they need each other. And in most African American communities, they teach independence. So the woman
good.
is instilled in them to be independent, not to depend on anything. Well, to have anything successful, you need a community. You need a team. And you don't spell team, with the I. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just horrible spelling it. But anyway. But what I'm saying is, when you build a relationship, you build a marriage, and you have to understand. I do think, to that guy's point, he can be shallow. But again, I don't know his history, so I don't want to prejudge.
Right.
And maybe that was his experience. But I know as you get older and life happens, whether it be sickness, whether it be thyroid, whether it be any other type of ailments, forgive me, your body changes and you change. And what I like at this age, I love at this age. What I used to love at this age, I like at this age. So people are always changing. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think if you look at what you have built together, and the question becomes, you have to look at the social, economic finances of people. Most people who get divorced, their household income is up under 300,000. The ones that 300,000 more, they stay together. They don't just they tend to kind of work it out, and the women be like, I don't know about how this lifestyle.
Bezos and his wife left.
Who was that?
Bezos and his wife.
Yeah, but
no, I'm just saying. I know it does
I
happen.
mean, that's the one, but I'm just saying, typically, as a
I'm
average,
processing it in my
Now you have
head.
some, he was like, hey, just write the check, what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, he probably had a girlfriend or two, but
Yeah.
So we're gonna take. Go ahead.
That's a good question. Let me ask one more question. So while you're talking about that, my question then becomes is this again, I can't give you props enough for your book. So my point is, now if a gentleman goes and he reads your book and he takes all of the 7 S's and he becomes that guy, and he literally can have any woman he wants, does he settle for one? And then what woman is he looking for? Because now that he can have any woman he wants, is he looking for a physical type? Is he looking for... So how do we know then how to be that woman for that guy who can have any woman he wants?
Well, I think now people are moving to a level of being honest at a certain age and a certain stage. Most women say that they want honesty. And I understand it, and I get it. But that comes with a very hefty penalty.
Yeah.
So, Kay, you and I together, and you say, you can tell me about anything, or you hear the famous quote, tell me if you don't want me no more. Or if you want somebody else, tell me that. Okay, now when I give your ass the truth, and you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay? So, sometimes we can't, like the movie Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. Because the truth hurts. Always stings. And it will knock you off your feet if you're not prepared. Okay, prime example, y'all sisters, and I'm really attracted to Kay, your sister can get it. I just told you the truth. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to lick it. Every time I come around your sister, you're going to be looking at me, looking at your sister. Or you're going to be like, oh, you want my sister? But I just told you the truth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a
so
good
you
point.
got to be very careful with that and understand that how you get that. Men don't have a safe place to tell the truth. They only have one place to have to tell the truth. You know what that's at?
Where?
The barbershop.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
the
they lie in the barbershop too. I heard men lie in the barbershop.
Well,
But
no.
I
I say
agree
a safe place.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if I had we were at a wedding or a black tie affair, and we seen a bodacious, beautiful, big booty woman walk across, and we don't know. We are with our significant, say our girls or whatever, or significant others, and this lady walked by, and we don't even know each other. We can all do this here, and we don't even know each other.
Yeah.
And we can nonverbal, and we can laugh and laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because this is a safe environment. Okay. So when we go to the barbershop, we can talk about any and everything.
Okay.
Because it's a safe environment and people can speak their mind. Well, we can't go there when it's a co-ed place like that, I can't be like, man, that's your. Well, you know, I gotta watch, I gotta sense it because there's, you know, it's kids in there and there's women in there, and I can't really. But in the barbershop, you know what I'm saying? And a shout out to Solo Blaze, his barbershop, and a number of others. I just shout out to Solo.
So we got a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
So we want to stop for just a second,
sure.
and so you can answer some
Sure,
questions.
sure.
It's loud habitual said, but some men are not raising their children. So even if it's not said,
Mhm.
you don't, you do what you see.
Women, babies, men, even if you're not raising your children, you do what you see.
Yeah. You're gonna be what you see, right? Well, here's the thing. It's gonna be a hard one. I understand that. So it starts back. Women should really pick who they let impregnate them. So because you're picking the person who you choose to have a baby by. So if you take 50% of this no good, whatever got, or it didn't work out for whatever reason. So you got to vet the guy that you letting enter in you and you conceive in life. Okay, I don't care who it is. I have a daughter. I'm telling you, be careful who you, because if you don't like him and you just here, these are warning signs. Don't pretend not to see what you see.
Right.
That's immaturity. Okay, so now you have this. Now here's the thing, and y'all not gonna like this. Some of the things that these rules that some women come up with, it only applies to the guy who's interested in you.
And what is that?
Okay, I'm about to break it down. Let me unpack this thing. So you want a guy to open the door. You want a guy to take you out to eat. You want him to buy you drink. You want him to do all these wonderful things, which is fine. Okay. So let's say, ladies, your kid is Shador Sanders. He's in college in Colorado. He's making $21 million off endorsements and all this other stuff. He meets Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa got a fatty.
What's
And
a
Lisa-
fatty? Hey.
She had a fat ass. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, and y'all forget. But she has it. So he says, Mama, fly Lisa here to Dallas, and we're going to see Usher in Vegas. And she wants to go see Usher front row in the booth, whatever. And I'm going to charter a jet, and she wants to do all this here. Okay. So I bring Lisa up. Shador brings Lisa here to Dallas. And she's sitting there, and guess what the mom is going to do? Lisa, sit down, baby. Shador, go to the stove, whatever.
Right.
Okay. So mama, aunt, sister, and the other people, sit down, baby. Now what's your intentions with my baby? Now what? Tell me, y'all gonna question the hell out of her. Why? Because you're gonna question her because you want to see her intentions, right? You want to see your son. You don't want your son to be a fool, right?
I don't want my son or my daughter to be a fool.
Thank you. So why should men spend that much money? I don't even know you. But on first, second, or third date, you expect, that's a big word, me or a person, not just say me, I'm just saying me in general. You expect a man to spend all his money. That's why I say do coffee dates.
I actually think that's so I think that's I understand that you're talking about women in general. But I agree with you where you are.
Yeah.
So I think you make a good point that I think that if my son was Shador or if my son was Lil Ricky, I want Lil Ricky, I want him to be nice. I want him to be a gentleman. I want him to have the 7 S's. I want him to be engaging. I want all of that kind of stuff. But I don't want either one of them going above their means, spending a bunch of money. I want you to lead with your heart and not your wallet.
Right. Well, see,
Or let's ask this question then.
Okay, go ahead.
And if a person leads with their wallet, if a man comes in leading with their wallet,
That should be a warning sign. That should be a yellow flag. Forget red. Red means stop. That should be a very cautious flag. Why?
But you said one thing. Go ahead.
Well, the reason why I say a yellow flag, because think about it. If they're leading with their wallet to you, just imagine the other chicks that they've done this
Oh,
with.
absolutely.
Okay, so this is already something that they're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. When a guy start leading like that, your mama taught you this a long time ago. Ain't nothing for what? For free.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. Prostitution. The definition of prostitution is offering or agreeing for a fee or other consideration, some sexual act for a fee or other consideration.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm giving you money, you got to know this here. When a man spends money on something, he's expecting a ROI, a return on his investment.
Absolutely.
Okay? So again, when women, you would have a situation like Cassidy, with the P. Diddy and Cassidy. She knew who he was.
Yeah.
He knew who she was. And you know, when you got that money, you know, who the shot caller is the person who got the money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you say or whatever. If he got the money, he got that type of income coming in. Guess what? You gonna dance and you gonna do what he want to do. So what I'm saying is, sometimes my sisters, they change the rules when it comes to them.
Yes.
But when it comes to their sons, their daddies, their brothers, their nephews, or their grandson, no, baby, And these are what we call, it's not BS, it's DS, double standards.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm saying, why we have to have a level of consistency. My sisters don't have a certain Rubik's. See, y'all want a man. Yeah, I do. Every do. Everybody does. They be on marriages 1, 2, 3, whatever, and be in different relationships because they ain't gave up on love.
Mm-hmm.
They want a guy to pursue them and chase them, but then what are they getting? When they get you, so let's look at the example of a house. You and I were just talking about when you had owned your beautiful home. So you go look at a house. When you first look at a house, you drive up. Is it the drive up appeal?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the, oh, I love the way the house look when I drive up and I pull in the driveway? Or is it when you go in the foyer, you know, oh, this is a beautiful foyer?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the living room? What about the dining room for those who have it? Or is it the kitchen? Oh my God, this is a beautiful kitchen. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the master bedroom, the bathroom, the closet, the game room?
Mm-hmm.
What is that number one, or the backyard? What is that number one seller when it comes to a house? Any realtor will tell you this is the number one seller. They say the best for last. You gotta see the pool. You gotta see the back, the kitchen. You gotta see this wonderful wine cellar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at yourself like that as an individual. What is your number one seller when it comes to you? What's that best quality that you can say, hey man, this is what I stand on it? Is this that because you're a supporter? Is this as you speak into the man? Is this because you really how you look at a man? As most women, they haven't been trained, and I consider it a big word. And when you say that to some women, you haven't been trained. So the immature would say, I ain't no dog. That's the immature mind. Any institution on this planet has training. When y'all went and got y'all beauties license, y'all had to be trained, right? Y'all had to go to school for so many hours, right?
You want to train me?
When
Let me define what training is.
Yeah, tell me what you mean by train.
Training means to adhere to a leadership and authority that's above you.
Mm-hmm.
Adhering to a leadership authority above you. That's why military, police, fire, education, they have training. Because they don't want to just throw you out there to the wolves. They want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. So that you have training, you have teaching, you have transformation, and you have trust, the 4 T's. You have to understand this. Most women are looking to be educated by a man. That's attractive. If you're any woman, you can ask them. The most attractive thing to a man is his intellect. Why do you think Beyonce got Jay-Z?
Because he cute. Nah, I'm just
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
because he cute.
So you said women want to be trained by a man?
No. They want to be
say?
not trained. Well,
Okay.
every woman want to be led. First of all, everyone want to be.
yeah.
They don't want to make the decision.
Let's use that word led.
Well, no. So what I'm saying to you, the vocabulary dictionary has a lot of different words. You can't just limit yourself just to one word. It's this word. Biblically, they even do it. They use different words to describe different things, but they still mean the same thing. So what I'm saying, we're mature. We're educated. You have to evolve Just because someone you don't like a word, don't mean you get bent out or offended. Just say, okay, cool, and don't. A lot of my sisters I see sometimes in the African American community, they so easily offended, and I'll be like, why? Why the attitude? It makes no
Okay.
sense. It makes no sense for a man. Listen, what?
I'm listening. I'm
It
listening.
makes no. It costs you nothing to be polite.
It don't.
It costs you nothing. Listen, if somebody ain't your cup of tea, hey, okay, cool. Hey, you know, respectfully, to be nice. But think about it. You won't want nobody to do your son, like in your case, your son or your daughter like that. You want them to be,
Absolutely.
hey, you know what? Let me down easy. You know what I'm saying? You know, because men have feelings. Like you was talking about the guy. Well, not the guy. You hear some women. Now, my last point, and I'm gonna let you guys have it. Engagement. You always hear the women say this here. Oh, have you ever been married? They say no, but I've been proposed to, and they leave it right there. But they never tell you what happened afterwards. So you did one of two things. That means he went and snuck and got you a ring, figured out your ring size, and surprised you and said, hey, will you marry me? Possible. Or you gave him some type of indication, or y'all went ring shopping, and you told him, hey man, you know, I want to be with you. So if you asked him what happened, he wasn't ready, he ain't had this together, and they give you all these type of excuses, and they point to the other guy. But they never really point to themselves. And so you don't know what happened to the ring. Did you give it back? So what he gives his ring to this woman, and hey, you and I got a kid together. Anyway, you and I, you and I have a kid together. Let's say, for example, you and I have a kid together, and Johnny is going to propose to Carrie. And we said, oh my God. He said, Mom, I'm doing it. Dad, I want to do it. Son, down out there, we're going to wait. We're going to sit and wait. And he goes out and he proposes to Karen. And he comes back and at some point, she declines the offer. At some point, because she changed her mind. No, whatever, I get a ring back. Now he's broken hearted. What do we say to our kids? You don't never hear the women say, what happened to the guy? How did he feel? Because he went and spent his money and got this expensive ring to please you and put it on your finger. And now he got to walk back with that shame and embarrassment to his parents and to his friends. You don't ever hear about that side of the story.
You do.
How much percentage? Very small. I know I'm talking about the small, I'm talking about the majority. So what happens is, and I'm done, what I'm saying is men have feelings. And what happens, they would go on the I don't give a damn about a woman tour. Because they saying, you know what, she didn't have to do me like that. And if we really go back to our biblical principles and really look at it.
There he go. Go ahead. Now.
I'm saying to you, love yourself like you love your neighbor.
Yes.
And you know what, hey, but you know what, let me not accept this ring right now, because I don't think we're at the place that we should be. So not right now. Not right now is not a decline. It's not a denial. It's just a delay. And let's build this relationship, because if it's 10 things they wanted, if he came up short 2 out of 10, I think that's still good.
Yeah.
But they want 10 out of 10 when you're not 10 out of 10.
Oh, I agree. And I think that's immature. But I also think that I think that's immature to say, if I'm not perfect, you got to be perfect. Now, you dropped a lot on us, Rod. Now, we really want to just tear you apart. Yeah.
Come on.
But Mona, I can tell Mona is humming over here.
Come on, Mona, I'm ready for you.
You did say a lot. We're not afraid of vocabulary. I think certain words, you're going to get a certain reaction. So if you want a certain reaction, you have to use the right wording, the right term for a woman to respond.
Right.
And you can't come to a woman and be like, oh, that's immature because I said so-and-so, so-and-so. Sometimes honesty is not always the best policy. Sometimes, yeah, I said it. Sometimes honesty is the way you deliver it. It's your delivery. Even though it's honest, that doesn't mean that it was necessarily merited at that time. So when I've been married 29 years, happily, sometimes
Okay.
We have been through valley highs and lows. I love him. That's my husband. We still married, and we choose to stay together to make our marriage work. Okay, if everybody is honest, nobody walks through the tulips every day. But 29 years of marriage, yeah, you certain things you have to know how to woo a woman too. So you also said that nobody talks about the man and he's hurt and nobody ever. I have a son. So if he asked a woman for their hand in marriage, that's a blessing for him. The Bible said, "He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing." So we y'all good thing.
You got
So
to
don't.
read the chapter after that.
But we still your good thing. I don't care how many chapters you
So
read
let me ask
behind
you this
that.
question.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. This.
So I'm just saying it's your
You stay on
response.
your
So
side.
it's a two-way street on both sides. I agree with everything that you're saying. I do. But I also feel like it's the way that a man can approach a woman to get the response that he wants.
So when you said this, you have been married 29 years. I'm sure your husband at some point told you, baby, my parents been married 60 years, almost 60 years in September. And my father said this to my mother. He said, "I'm trying to teach you this because I'm not going to be here. Because men died before women, okay?" My father is training my mother. He's the patriarch of the family. He's teaching the matriarch of the family what to do when I'm not here to keep the name going. I'm going to say it again. The patriarch is training the matriarch of the family, teaching. When you guys were doing y'all, I don't know, residence, I don't know what it's called, but this is a level of training. They have basic training, police training. They have, that's what I'm saying to you. This is learning how to adhere to leadership and authority. What happens is mothers are not teaching women how to be wives, how to get that man. They say, well, they see it. I can go to a hibachi grill right now and see the people do that and bounce an egg and crack it like that. I can see it all day. And this is what we call visual learning. But see, there's arbitration learning, which is hearing, but we actually do it kinesthetic. When we hands on.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is this here, your husband, my father, they're training. Hey, this is the level, hey, but this is what I do in my absence. That's what Jesus trained the disciples. He trained them what to do. He said, my absence is going to come. And I want to prepare you because I'm going to another place. Preparing is a level of training. So he had to teach. And then he said, you go out and do it. This is the level what I'm saying to you. So when you were talking about the word, what I'm saying to you, don't look at the intent. And not
Absolutely.
just the actual word. So the intention is, that's why I said expand the vocabulary. You say train, say, babe, let me you say train, you know the content that he's using it in, and what you're saying, the level and the tone and the where. If he's saying in the love, babe, I got to train you, babe, because this here, like your kid. That's why the Bible says train up a kid. It didn't say
Train up the child.
hold on, but you can take that and then But what I'm saying is those people who want to be combative. If Bishop T.J. said this all the time, he said, if you look for a booger, you will find it. When you look how these people are thinking. Look, how you view things is how you value. So
I
if
think
you
it's
look
always
at,
being combative. I think it's your approach on how
but again,
you
the world.
come to things.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying this here. I'm just saying we have to evolve. And how we evolve is we say, okay, cool. Hey, I know how they said it, whatever. Okay, cool. And hey, you know what? Because if it's love, you're going to accept it differently.
Right.
If you saying, hey, man, you can tell your son to do something, and your daughter, for example, and you say, hey, you know what? My mom was really trying to put me up on game. She's really trying to teach me. It didn't come out right. Saying, in this world now, if you don't say it right, you don't accept it. But, police or the judge or, whatever, say things to you, or your boss, they might not say it to you in a correct way, but you still accept it. I'm just saying, when do we evolve and say, you know what? They were not intentionally trying to hurt my feelings. They were not intentionally trying to say, they said it, yeah, I didn't really like that approach.
That's a good point. So what if you, because my hat been hung way back a while when you talked about making sure we consider the feelings of a guy. And I think that's a two-way street.
It
okay.
is.
So I think that everything you've said has been amazing. But I also feel like a lot of times men want us to consider their feelings and then don't consider, because I'm the head, therefore I say, and then you don't consider women feelings. So let's go back to the same thing where you talk about you could be nice, you could just say it in a certain way.
Yeah.
Also, for the guy, if I say, you know, baby, can I have your phone number? No, thank you. I'm on my way. No, thank you.
Yes, yeah.
So if we do that 2 or 3 times and you still keep saying, then at what point do I say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I said no. Or you're telling me to be kind, but what about when the gentleman
Right.
is overstepping his boundaries and not mindful of?
Valid point. I think with some guys,
They
men and women, I'm just say people in general, but I understand in your case, a lot of men can be pushy and can be over because you know, it's good and bad. It's good that they haven't gave up, and it's bad because you can go across the line. Sometimes persistence is a good thing, and it can be perceived as a negative thing. And again, but if the guy's attracted, you know, these rules only apply if the guy's not attracted. If they're attracted, you be like, boy, gone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, sorry, I told you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, it depends on the level of attraction now, okay? So I just say, you know, with that, like you say in the Bible, let your yea be yea and let your nay be nay. And sometimes it goes back to what your point, when you saying my tone, like training a dog.
Right.
A dog responds to your tone. So if I say, hey, man, no. And women, y'all know how to say no instead of play from the, no, stop. Because
Right.
come on, man. Because, you know, they just, you know, and it's a slippery slope. They can go.
So I know that we have had excellent dialogue. I think, do you want to give them opportunity to answer a few of the questions?
Do we have any questions?
Okay. So we have been at this for a while, and I think we are kind of getting to our time.
Okay.
So before we go, I want to do a couple things. Number one, Rod,
Okay.
I want to know, do you offer any kind of training? In particular, right now, I am thinking about 2 young men that are on my mind. I think one of them is like 19, one of them is maybe like 22, 23. Both of whom I think could use this book. Both of them I think could use just some one-on-one, you know, how to start the conversation with the girl, all of that kind of stuff. Do you do any kind of training, classes, coaching? How would a young man get connected with you to start growing?
I'm very open, and I wouldn't mind answering those questions for those individuals. I don't really want to really mentor a lot of people because it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of time, and I'm very passionate and serious in what I do. However, my book is a cheat code for those who are trying to get up. And those, you know, women who, maybe not you, but other women who have fatherless child syndrome, and they saying that, hey, I really want my son to be on the right leg, or those men who never really been taught. I think this is a great place to start because as men, we've been told so much, but we have not been shown so much, and we need examples. And you only, like you said, you're only gonna be what you see. So I think this book is a great cheat code to accelerate. And just like you said when you first saw the cover, and you saw, you know, and we haven't got to yours, but when you saw the book, my book, and they hear the title, they go ahead and start prejudging. They see me, they see the title, they just prejudge, and it's not what, you know, you really think. And that's why, you know, you judging a book by its cover is so important. So I think if you even, you know, let's just say even your husband,
I always tell guys, I say, buy my book and then read it to the woman. Say, tell me which parts you agree with, or tell me which part you disagree with. See, when a man read a book to a woman, first of all, it's sex as hell. It's
How you know?
what I'm just saying, when you do it, and I tell guys, I say, this is how you romance a woman. See, romance is the thing that's not even really talked about no more. See, when a guy romance you, hey, come here, baby. Boy, quit. You like it. Why? Because you want a man to be a man. You don't want no man to be no boy. So again, like you were saying, tone, and I'm agreeing with you, that tone. Hey, come here, baby. Hey, what I tell you? Come here. Ooh, told me no. But how he said it, okay? You want a man to be a man. All right. So my book is a blueprint, and you can build off of it for that. This is teaching your level of confidence. There's nothing more sexy to a woman than a man with confidence.
Okay. Oh, absolutely.
So this is what I'm just saying. My book for those women who don't have a level of they don't know exactly. It's kind of hard to teach a man about being a man. That's why I wrote the book, because we have been men have been challenged and said, hey, y'all need to start doing this here. So I gave the blueprint. I didn't want to talk about the problem anymore. Now I'm giving the blueprint, and that is the blueprint to get beautiful women like you guys.
So how can they order your book?
Well, I have my website. It's called rodwarnerbooks.com. That's where you can find my books, and it's found. I'm on Instagram as I am Rod Warner, and on Facebook I think I'm Rod Warner. And you just reach out and check it out. But that's how you order my book.
Okay.
Rod, this has been a riveting conversation today, and you gave us so much information. And I think that, honestly, I think if it would be a good idea for ladies to buy the book as a gift to their son or a loved one, or to at least refer it to a gentleman. So.
So what would you rate my book?
What would I rate your book?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, exclude 7.
Exclude 7.
Yeah, no
7.
No, I said exclude.
You know I'm a No, on a scale of 1 to 10, Rod, I would go 8 to 9. I would go 9. And the only thing, and let me say this, and the only reason, because there were a couple times that I wanted you to expound a little more. Yeah. But otherwise, I think it's very easy to read, and it was surprisingly a lot of information just compacted. Mm-hmm. It was surprisingly, it covered a lot of territory. And like I said, just a couple times I wanted to see you expound a little more, but otherwise, I actually found it to be dynamic.
All right, thank you. What did you say, Mona? What would you give it? You still didn't tell us what your thoughts about what you thought, because you read it.
I would give it I'll give it a 10.
Oh, yeah, I heard
Mona, it was hard for her to turn that compliment loose. It was hard.
It was hard. It was hard. I mean, it's some good. You have good knowledge in the book. Good conversation. I can go back and forth with you a little bit on it, but that's another podcast for another time. So, it's a good book. It really is. It really is. So what's the name of your next book?
I have one called Unshackled, and then I have another one called Attraction.
Okay.
Attraction is real good. But when it comes to my book, The 7 S's, I have more women buying it than men.
I believe that.
I have a lot of women, and like I say, it's. I will tell you this: that whole book, and when you read it, and now you read it, you knowing me, it's about me. Mm-hmm. And you can see it. Mm-hmm. It is really about me. And as men, we need examples.
You do.
And you're only gonna be, according to you, you're only gonna be what you see. And a lot of our blueprints are not looking like the models. Mm-hmm. And now the models not looking.
You really need to cultivate the younger generation, the younger men. They need role models. They need to know how to treat a woman, and also they need to build confidence. That's what we're lacking, even in the women. The younger young ladies lack confidence in who they are, because that happens. That foundation starts when they're young. When you build a child and teach them and pour into them who they are. I'm not saying they won't ever just be perfect or won't ever make mistakes, but they have a foundation to always fall back on. You know, they have that foundation. I know who I am. Even though I made that mistake, they're going to always come back to who they are. You know what I'm saying? So you need to build that more, and you need to think about that.
I feel like I'm a visionary. And so as we're leaving, I first of all, we'll have you back really soon, because I feel like this was a great conversation. But literally, as we were speaking and talking about it, I see us coming together with a camp to help bring confidence in women, young women and men. And you, along with a few other brothers, taking some young boys and spending a week or so with them and just investing in them, pouring into them, and teaching them what it is to be a man and building the confidence, while the ladies take the young girls. So, and in words of my mother say, teaching them not to take any wooden nickels, you know? And I think that this was just such a great synergy, great partnership. I'm so excited about what you're doing for men. And last point in your book, I think it's important, while we talked about all the other things, I think what made it be so good to me is that you didn't leave out spirituality. Like, we talked about all of the things, but then you wrapped it up with, you have to be spiritual beings, and you have to, you know, so you talked about your faith. And I think that element is what makes all the other elements come together.
Well,
So,
speaking of coming together, I really want to take my hat off to you guys, and I'm so proud of you ladies. This colorful conversation. It is very delightful, very refreshing, and for you guys to be stylists and stepping out is bold and tackling hard conversation, even about the
Karmelo.
Karmelo, and I think this is it take a lot of confidence.
Thank you.
It take a lot of confidence to step out and do what you guys are doing, and speaking out to the world, and speaking up and speaking out as visionary and leaders of the community. Kaye, you've been doing this for a very long time. I just want to commend you ladies, and I feel honored, privileged. Man, I woke up about 4 o'clock this morning. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fix. Well, I mean, because anytime somebody take out the time and want to interview me about my book, man, I'm just delighted. So I really appreciate you guys for having me, and I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys, and you guys are doing a great job. And I'm very jealous of the cups and the cars.
We talked about it today, about having us some cups for our guests. Okay. So anyway, that's a wrap for today. We wanted to say thank you all so much for taking the time to check us out.
Yes,
Colorful Conversations,
yes.
2 stylists. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's all right.
2 stylists, 1 vibe. I'm sorry.
And I want to leave you with a scripture, which is, or Mona want to leave you with the scripture.
I always end the podcast with Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High. And I always say, go dwell and go hide in his secret place so he can tell you his secrets.
Right. And I say, God made you beautiful. I help you own it. It is conversations like this that help you realize the beauty within. Thank you for joining us here on our Colorful Conversations.
See you next time.
Bye. Bye.